welcome back to my channel.
Welcome back. Like and subscribe. Comment
My
below.
favorite subject today.
Okay.
Physics.
Projectile motion, maybe?
No, physics.
Alright, for this first problem here, we're not actually talking about a ball, though. We're talking about revenue of a phone company. So, the revenue for a phone charger company can be modeled by R equals negative 500 P squared plus 10,000 P, where P is the price of a charger. What price will maximize the revenue, and what is the maximum revenue?
So that was your C that you just said, literally at the end.
No.
You only have a A and a B, right? You don't have a C.
Wait, your R is your C.
We have to find C, right?
No, we don't have a C.
We don't have a
Starting
C.
from 0.
Okay.
Alright, hold on. Shh, just wait. I'll explain. Alright, I'm going to sketch a graph because I feel like that's going to help me interpret this situation. But my function is not in terms of y and x, it's in terms of r and p. So I need to decide which one's going to be on the y-axis, which one's going to be on the x-axis. So
Yes, sir.
looking at your function, r is in the y spot, so r is going to go on the y.
Yes, sir.
P is in the x spot, so P is going to go on the x, which means your y-axis is going to be the revenue, the p-axis is going to be the price. Now, we don't need to get really particular about our graph right now. I just want to know, is it a happy face or a sad face?
Sad face.
Sad face,
Why?
Because of this
because
maximum.
A is negative.
Oh.
But you just said there was no negative.
The answers.
Really? I missed that on my quiz.
All right, so we have a sad face, which makes sense because what is the question asking you for?
The maximum
The
revenue.
maximum. So your graph should have a maximum.
I have a question.
That is
Yes.
so-
So since there's no C, where do we determine where origin is?
Is it 0, 0?
Oh, it's just 0, 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'm trying to find the maximum on this graph. What is that?
That negative B over 2A.
The negative b over 2a. Yes, the formula to get the vertex. So I'm going to use negative b over 2a to get the vertex. What is negative b?
Negative B is 500.
1,000.
Negative 10,000.
What?
The b is what's with the p.
Because it's not P squared.
What is the a?
Negative 500.
Negative 500.
Times 2. Well, times 2.
Times 2, yeah.
What do you want?
So it's 10, please.
Negative 10,000.
All right, so negative 10,000 on top. What is 2 times negative 500?
Negative 1,000.
Negative 1,000. And what is 10,000 divided by 1,000?
10.
10.
You can just cross out over 0.
Yes.
So what do I need to make my phone chargers cost to maximize revenue?
$10.
$10. So the phone chargers are going to cost $10 to maximize the revenue. So that answers the first question, what price? Now I need to say, okay, what is the actual maximum revenue? So how do you figure that out?
Plug it in.
Plug it in.
This is so easy.
So R is going to equal negative 500. And I'm going to plug in 10 for the price. Asalia, put your phone away. Plus 10,000 times 10. No, don't do a calculator. You can do it without a calculator. I promise. You can do it without a calculator. All right.
Negative 5.
What is 10 squared?
100.
100.
This is too much work.
Okay.
100.
What is negative 500 times 100?
Negative 500.
Wait.
No, negative 50,000.
Negative 50,000. What is 10,000 times 10?
100,000.
100,000. So what is negative 50,000 plus 100,000?
50,000.
50,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's my maximum revenue?
50,000. No, 10 comma 50,000,
Bro,
right?
you know what I can do?
Would that be right?
Yeah, that's the vertex. That's the point.
Yeah. With Nene on that.
I can.
All right. Number 5. Lighting fixture manufacturer has daily production cost of C equals 0.25 n squared plus 100 n plus 17,500, where C is the total daily cost and n is the number of light fixtures produced. How many fixtures should be produced to yield minimum cost? What is the minimum cost? So, I'm going to draw a graph.
Happy face. Happy face.
What is the y-axis? What the C, the cost, and what's going to be on the x-axis? The n, the number of fixtures. Do you have a happy face or a sad face?
Happy face time.
A happy face because this is positive,
If you want
It
this
said
way.
minimum.
and it says minimum. So I got a happy face.
17,500.
Alrighty. So it says, how many fixtures should be produced to yield minimum cost? Remember, fixtures are the x. So I'm still going to be using the formula negative b over 2a. So what is negative b?
Negative 100, which is just 100.
100. And what is my a value?
0.25.
0.25. Okay. What is 2 times 0.25?
0.5.
0.5. And 100 divided by 0.5?
50.
200. Because you're dividing by a decimal.
Oh, that's right. So you multiply it.
Yep.
Point.
So how many fixtures do I need to produce to minimize cost?
200 pictures.
200 fixtures. So that's going to minimize my cost.
What happened to the negative?
It was
A
a double negative.
double negative.
Wait.
The 100 there and the 100 there.
Oh.
Okay, now this is too much math for me in my brain.
Okay, no, we can do this without a calculator too. So I want to figure out what the actual minimum cost is. So what are you going to do?
Put your finger in that.
Plug it in.
Yeah, it's gonna burn a little bit.
All right, 0.25, 200 squared minus 100 times 200 plus 17,500.
What?
All right. No, we don't need a calculator.
Yes, we do.
We can,
You are correct.
on the test, you can use one. But unlike an ACT or a TSI, you can do this without one. I promise. Just watch. Exponents first. So what is 200 squared?
Already got the answer.
40.
40,000.
Yes.
40,000.
40,000. Welcome. Ange does fast math.
Anybody's up to who else is
Shh. All right, 40,000. So now I'm going to be multiplying. 0.25, what kind of fraction is that?
1/4.
1/4. So it's like dividing by 4.
1,000.
So
10,000.
10,000. Shh. All right, what is 100 times 200?
200 though.
20,000?
No, 20,000. Sorry.
All right. 10,000 minus 20,000? What is it?
Negative.
Negative 10,000 plus 17,500. And so what's the final answer? 7,500.
Wow, that was hard.
So the minimum cost is going to be 7,500.
See, look, we could put this in calculator. I already got it.
She just wants to see all these
Heroes on this paper. I don't know what's with her in this picture.
All right.
Not significant figures, am I right, guys?
No.
Sig things.
Next one. Focus back up here.
Y'all wonder why the dropout rate is so high at Waco.
Phones away. I'm fixing to pick them up. Put your phones away.
You already took mine. I really don't know where it is. I'm kind of worried.
On my desk. All right. The equation for the motion of a projectile fired straight up at an initial velocity of 64 feet per second is h equals negative 16t squared plus 64t, where h is the height in feet and t is the time in seconds. Find the time of the projectile needs to reach its highest point, and how high will it go? So I'm going to sketch another graph. What is going to be the y values? H. What is going to be the x values? T. Is it a happy face or a sad face?
Sad face.
A sad face because
You were looking for the maximum.
my acceleration is negative, or my a value is negative, and I'm also looking for the max. All right. So if I want to find the maximum height, I'm trying to find the vertex. So I'm still going to be doing negative b over 2a. What is my b value?
64.
64. So negative 64 to, what's my a value?
Negative 16.
Negative 16. So 2 times negative 16 is?
Negative 32.
What is negative 64 divided by negative 32?
2.
2. So how many seconds is it going to take to reach the max height?
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Are we gonna do the thing where it's like the slope is like slid over and stuff and all that extra stuff?
For projectiles?
Yeah, crazy.
What do you mean?
It's like, I don't remember. I just remember it being a sloot. Like it was like S-L-E-W-E. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, so I want to know now, how high will it go? So what am I going to do with the 2 seconds? Plug it in. So negative 16, I'm going to plug 2 in for t, plus 64, plug 2 in for t. What is 2 squared?
4. Bless you.
All right, what is negative 16 times 4?
Negative 64.
Negative 64. What is 64 times 2?
138.
All right, and so now negative 64 plus 128?
64.
64. So it is going 64 feet in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Because they did make calculate.
I don't have a calculator. Nobody.
All right. Last part. We're going to do number 1 here, writing an equation of a parabola, and then we will probably be done for the day.
Yay.
So, for this writing the equation, this is just another way to write an equation with the calculator. We have already done it where you did new document, list. You could put your points in if you wanted to, and go to menu, stats, statistics, all of that good stuff. You remember that day was the 6-1 notes? All right. This is just another way of writing an equation of a parabola. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a system of equations. So I'm going to use these points,
Yes, you use
and I'm going to plug them in to have 3 equations. 3 points, 3 equations. So, what am I going to plug in for y?
negative
So
2.
why?
Negative 2, the y. What are you going to plug in for x?
Negative 1.
Negative 1, the x. So, negative 2 equals a. In place of this x, I'm going to put negative 1 and square it. Plus b. In place of the x, I'm going to put negative 1. Oops, not squared. Hello. And then plus c.
Okay. Oh.
I'm so smart.
All right, I'm going to clean it up a little bit just so it's easier to plug into the calculator. What's negative 1 squared?
1.
1. So, 1a. What's b times negative 1?
Negative.
Yeah, negative b, or negative 1b. And then plus c.
Plus C.
All right, so there's one of my equations. Now I'm going to do the next one, 0, 0. Kind of. All right, so what am I going to plug in for y?
0.
0. So 0 equals a. What am I going to plug in for x?
0.
What am I going to plug in for the other x?
0.
What happens with my a's and my b's?
They turn into nothing, right?
Nothing, because they're 0, so they both go away.
So 0 equals C.
So 0 equals c.
Is that like
All right. Last one.
Is this allowed?
1 and 6.
Can you please stop?
What am I plugging in for y?
6.
What am I plugging in for x?
1.
All right. What is 1 squared? 1. So 1a or just a. What is b times 1? was b, or 1b. And then the plus c. So here is my third equation.
Whoa.
All right, so I might put a bonus question on the test where you have to do it by hand, but I will not actually make you do it by hand. You can use the calculator if you would like to.
Don't mess up, miss.
But probably on, I know. Probably on the bonus though, you will have to do it by hand. All right, so I have 3 equations. My letters are A, B, and C. And now I'm just going to type them in. -2 equals A minus B plus C. 0 equals C. And 6 equals A plus B plus C. Hit enter. And I get 2, 4, 0. So what does A equal?
2.
A equals 2. What does B equal?
4.
And what does C equal?
0.
Okay, so to do the final step where I'm going to write an equation, y equals what? 2x squared plus 4x. And you can put the plus 0, but you don't really need it.
What an intellect.
And there's just one other way of writing an equation if you would like. But remember, you can always do the lists and spreadsheets way as well.